surprise standing start at Watkins Glen, but we're racing with the 28 of Cody Pennell leading David Hawk and Jeremy Brio into that third corner. You saw the 24 of Trey Kirk go off the track, and now the DuPont Chevrolet stone dead last with the right side of that Chevy Camaro pancake, following Thomas Andrews in the money line Ford into turn number 1. Andrews goes wide, Kirk to his inside into the 13th position. Now down the back of the long straight headed into the bus stop. It's Pennell, Hauk, Brio, your top three. Tom Sears with plumes of smoke coming from that Battlefield 2048 Camry. He sits in fourth. Al Simkowski now in the 5th position ahead of Dustin Painter, the North Carolinian, sitting 6th. Trey Kirk going off the track again, and big trouble for the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet. Cody Pennell already through turns 10 and 11. Trey Kirk finding himself about half a lap down going through the bus stop, and a terrible start for the number 24 Chevy. Simkowski now with problems. Al Simkowski has gone around out of the final corner, and the number 99 Perrier Ford now joined by Ryan Pennell out of that last corner there. The 12 car just putting his nose right into the barriers out of the final corner. Thomas Andrews getting around him on the inside. The Advance Auto Engleton Stubbs Ford now out of that third corner, sitting 13th of 14 drivers. Cody Pennell leading David Hawk into the bus stop one more time. Brio and Sears 3rd and 4th respectively. Terry Gabbard on the YouTube channel saying road racing, excited for that one. Who doesn't love a bit of ARC's road racing at Watkins Glen? Tom Sears chasing down that driver of the 74 up ahead, Jeremy Brio. Dustin Painter rounding out the top 5 with the Arkansas native Donald Ray in 6th. Thomas Andrews briefly leaving the racetrack through the bus stop. Dan Maddox going around, and he crashes up against that outside barrier in the carousel. And the number 10 Mountain Dew Chevrolet finding an early way to put himself in a precarious position. There's the 12 of Ryan Pennell just on his outside, out of what they call the outer loop or that carousel, following the bus stop. Out of the S's down the back straight with a lead of 1 second. It's Georgia's Cody Pennell just ahead of David Hawk. There's Jeremy Brio in the 3rd position. Ford, Chevy, your top 3. And one of 2 Toyota Camrys tonight, it's Tom Sears in 4th. The other Camry, the number 20 of John Honeybrink, rocking the Tony Stewart colors here, the number 20 Home Depot Toyota Camry. Almost even looks like Tony Stewart's Pontiac Grand Prix from the mid-90s. That's just cool. Honeybrink right now sitting in 11th, chasing down Thomas Andrews, who started stone dead last, but that excellent looking Money Lion Ford has worked his way into the top 10. Honeybrink going off the racetrack through the bus stop. Trey Kirk running into issues out of turn number 1. Ryan Pennell makes his way past Honeybrink. Maddox makes it okay. Dan Maddox goes around, puts his Mountain Dew Chevy right up into that hard blue guardrail, and a little tap onto the tire wall just for good measure. Maddox sitting 13th of 14 cars. Trey Kirk now entering the bus stop, and Ryan Pennell hot on his heels. So an interesting start to this race for sure, but the battle for the lead heating up big time. David Hawk practicing all day, and I've been talking to the driver of that 21. Is that smoke from Brio? That is Jeremy Brio. Big smoke coming out of the 74. Here comes Thomas Sears to overtake him for the 3rd position. And the Smeal Designs Chevrolet smoking, billowing gray plumes of smoke in front of the 13. That's going to put Thomas Sears into the 3rd position. Dustin Painter in the MK Men's Chevy now moves into fourth, and Brio, the points leader, with huge problems early on in this race. There are the points brought to you by di9 Designs. Brio coming in with a 55-point lead over Cody Pennell, who's leading this race. Pennell, who's led every single lap thus far. 6 laps into this race. David Houck right behind him. Houck runs it wide through the carousel. Hot on the heels, however. Dan Maddox and John Honeybrink going at it. The 10 of Maddox, he's been involved in a couple of crashes by himself already. John Honeybrink in the number 20 Home Depot Camry, he's gone around for a couple of spills, but the 20 holding strong. Maddox hot on his heels, riding along with the 10 car now. You saw the 20 of Trey Kirk go right to the inside of Maddox. That for the 13th position. Kirk is off track again. Save it, Trey. Right in front of the leaders. The DuPont Chevrolet comes out. There's Cody Pennell putting Kirk a lap down. Now to the inside of John Honeybrink, leaving 12 cars on the lead lap. And the number 10 of Dan Maddox. Now next on the list, both David Houck and Cody Pennell getting around those 2 lap-down cars, now chasing down Maddox. There's Tom Sears in third, now getting around the wounded DuPont Chevy. Eight seconds behind third place, Dustin Painter. He's got Donald Ray right behind him. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey now sitting on the very edge of the top 5. He can see the 5th place car of Donald Ray ahead. Ray, a resident of Texas, but originally from the great state of Arkansas, with a few wins this season already. Still alive in this fight for points. Donald Ray sitting 4th in the points table right now. David Houck, his nearest rival, 14 points ahead. There they are, 3rd and 4th on that table. Ray right now more concerned with chasing down Dustin Painter for that top 4 spot. There's Ray right up alongside Painter. Ray goes off the track and into the wall. Big crash for Donald Ray. There goes the hood on that number 14 Ford Mustang. And just as he was catching up and making time to the North Carolinian, the Arkansas pilot bins his Ford Mustang 9 laps into this race. 1 position behind Ray now, Al Simkowski in the number 99 Perrier Ford. He's ahead of Josh Garrison in the number 44 Monster Chevy. The points leader, Jeremy Brio, down to the 9th position. Brio just trying to hold on for points now. 3 races remain in the season, including this one. And the number 74 needs to stay on it. The Smeal Racing Designs Chevy has won multiple races this season. But will he be able to hold that lead all the way to the end, just as the sun is coming out in brilliant Watkins Glen, a scenic racetrack. If you've never been here, take the opportunity to come visit. It's absolutely lovely. Lovely is the lead that Cody Pennell has over David Houck, 1.6 seconds. And there goes Houck. The 2nd place car goes for a big Tokyo drift out of turn 11. And the Winn-Dixie Ford cooks the tires. Houck must remain careful. Now that lead expanding to well over 6 seconds. Ryan Pennell going off in turn number 1, cousin to the leader Cody Pennell, and the New York native goes around in 1, stuck, not able to move. Is something wrong with the 12? Now he finally puts it in reverse, and he keeps it pushing. Trey Kirk trying to go around him, and Ryan's headed straight for the wall again, which he will make contact with. Green Fire says, boogity, boogity, boogity. He says, wait, it's lap 9. Shoot. No worries, Green Fire. You have not missed much. Cody Pennell at the front of this race. David Houck was just a second behind when he lost control out of turn 10. Houck now finds himself 7 1/3 seconds adrift. Tom Sears, sitting in the 3rd position, is 4 seconds behind the number 2 position, but Sears is making up that time brilliantly. Seconds behind the top 3. North Carolina's Dustin Painter smoking the car as the caution comes out. Yellow flag is out on the racetrack for the first time today. Caution comes out. New York's Ryan Pennell slow again on the racetrack, and Cody Pennell's 8-second lead wiped out as the first yellow flies in Watkins Glen. Let's take a look and see what brought out that first caution. We know Ryan Pennell was having some difficulties earlier. Was it the 12 advance car? Just slow coming out of that carousel here. Let's take another look. This was after he crashed in 1. Going off the racetrack again. Now that was the first incident. I believe he went off again. This was the second time. Blockage on the racetrack, but nevertheless, back to live pictures. The New York native sitting stone dead last. Cody Pennell completing lap number 11, trying to catch up to the racetrack. There's second place David Houck, who will have a chance to change those tires, get some fresh rubber on the number 21 Winn-Dixie Ford. Tom Sears in the Battlefield 2048 Camry sitting 3rd, slowly but surely chipping away, and now the caution does the hard work for Sears. Up to the leader, Cody Pennell, who's caught up to the Porsche 911 race car. Let's have a word with Cody Pennell and see if we can clue in on how his race is going. Cody Pennell, Rick James, you got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, Rick.
Cody, you're leading this race hand over fist. The 21 of Houck cooked his tires out of turn number 1, but you seem to be keeping it nice and easy so far. What's the secret?
Really, it's one of those tracks where the slower you go, it seems like the faster you get. So, like you said, I'm just taking it easy. I've seen him there get pretty big in the mirror a couple times, and I try not to let it bother me and just stay consistent, hit my marks, and it seems to have paid off so far, so we'll see how it goes.
Coming into this week's race, you're only 55 points behind Jeremy Brio, who's already run into car trouble tonight. He's got 3 wins, you have 2. Do you have the car to make it a hat trick and keep the championship fight alive?
Yeah, for sure. It feels good. So, like I said, it's just going to be about staying consistent, hitting my marks, and making sure I don't make any silly mistakes.
The most important question that anybody's going to ask you all night, Cody Pennell, what is your favorite flavor of pie?
Pecan.
Pecan pie. All right, we'll go for it. Pecan pie. Good answer. Best of luck, Cody.
Thank you, bud.
I do like pecan pie myself. Bama Trama says, hey, Rick, Mama Vols, glad to have you in the chat. As always, one of my favorites, one of, I think, I've got to say, she's got to be my most repeat viewer or something like that. It's unbelievable how often she tunes in. Love you, Mama Vols. Thank you so much for coming through once again. So drivers are going to get tires, are going to get fuel. That's going to give us a chance to take our first 60-second break. We'll be ad-free for 21 minutes. Then we will come back and resume the 8th of 10 rounds from virtual Watkins Glen. Don't go anywhere. You're watching di9 Designs Monday Night Lightning. Subscribers at home, thanks so much for staying tuned in. I'm having fun so far. I hope you all are having fun as well. Drop me a line, drop me a DM. Let me know what I can do to make the stream better for my subscribers, and we'll do the best that we can to keep you folks engaged and tune in. Stay tuned. We'll see you in a bit. At Nick Pressy's home track, the number 94 iHeart NY Estes Ford now leading this race. About to complete lucky lap number 13. The lights are off on the Porsche 911. Josh Garrison in the second position in the number 44 Monster Chevy. Pace car peels in. Nick Pressy leading the field out of the final corner, waiting for the signal. Green flag is out. Big contact, 4 cars involved. Look at the traffic jam up the S. Cody Pennell's led the most laps so far, making his way through this field as best as he can. And there goes New York's Ryan Pennell once again. Goes around into the bus stop, and it goes from bad to worse for Buffalo, New York's Ryan Pennell in the wall one more time. Here comes Dan Maddox to take 12th away. Nick Pressy still leading, but by a grand margin. Josh Garrison, 2.25 seconds behind him. Here comes Cody Pennell in third, trying to keep that championship fight alive, but it's the points leader, Jeremy Brio, back on his perch. Brio in fourth, 1 spot behind Pennell. Vols fan saying he's a fan of pumpkin pie. Green Fire says not a fan of pecans, but he'll take chicken pot pie any day. And you know what? I haven't thought about that because chicken pot pie is pretty tasty. Now a move for the second position. Here comes Pennell onto Garrison, right into the bus stop. Outbraking him, clinical move for Cody Pennell. Ryan Pennell, and there's Tom Sears. It is indeed Tom Sears and Ryan Pennell who have gone around. There's the 19 of Sears. It looks like he's stuck in the wall. Ryan Pennell now overtaking him. There's Sears, who had to jump to pit road with that extensive damage and heartbreak for Sears with a special battlefield paint scheme today, and it looks like he's picked up a wound that's going to send him to the infirmary. Pressy still up in front, but now Cody Pennell behind him by 2.7 seconds at the line. Watch this gap. This is where Pressy has to be on his game. Pressy's loose out of the first corner. Simkowski's gone around. Al Simkowski and Josh Garrison finding themselves with problems now. The number 99, Perrier Ford, to the inside of John Honeybrink, who finds himself a lap down. Pressy still leading, but After that spill in turn number 1, he's already lost 1.5 seconds this lap. Let's have a quick look to Josh Garrison and see what happened to him. Cody Pennell's gone around. Pennell's gone around. There's Cody Pennell as he was making the move. We were focusing on Harrison's crash. Pennell is in the wall. Cody Pennell stuck on the blue guardrail on the inside of the inner loop. He can't move the car. Is the car stuck? And it is indeed. He's got to jump to pit road. Cody Pennell crashes, chasing Brooklyn's Nick Pressey. Heartbreak for the Georgian. One more look at Cody Pennell. Here he is, chasing Pressey. Just got too eager. Dan Maddox goes around. As we're watching Cody, let's take a look at Maddox again. Well, it looks like he's safe and sound for now. No, there's the 10 spinning as well. So many cars spinning. More damage to the front of that number 10 Mountain Dew Chevy, and Ryan Pennell almost getting into the back end of him. Back to live pictures now. Nick Pressey leading this race by 3 seconds over Jeremy Brio. Tom Sears just leaving pit road. David Houck 0.6 of a second behind Brio. Pressey, Brio, Houck, your top 3. Chevy, Ford, Chevy. 17 laps now complete at Watkins Glen International. 45-lap race this evening. 110 miles going to be the furthest distance that will, well, unless we get overtime, the distance that will go today. 20 to 30 laps is going to be right around what we're looking at pit window-wise, but of course, with a lap coming, with a caution coming 13 laps into this race, drivers could go one more stop to the end. Pressey leading now 2 seconds, the gap between Nick Pressey and Jeremy Brio. David Houck 0.8 of a second behind the number 74 Smeel Racing Designs Chevy. Looking at the lap times over the last 5. Nick Pressey back to Jeremy Brio. You can see Brio has been quicker for 3 out of the last 5 laps. Pressey with a 1:13.59, his best lap of the day on lap 15, this time across the line. Pressey with a 1:13.51, his fastest lap again, but Brio quicker by half a second. Brio still quicker for 3 out of the last 5 laps. Pressey running his fastest lap of the day, but Brio just hunting him down. Oh, wrong button there, my mistake. So there's the gap from second to third. There's third place David Houck, then 10 1/3 seconds behind North Carolina's Dustin Painter in the MK Men Chevrolet. Running fourth right now, 6.5 seconds ahead of Illinois' Al Simkowski. Simkowski went around in the number 99 Perrier Ford, but now he seems to have it back together on the tail end of the top 5, and Josh Garrison goes around. He's missing a big piece out of the monster Chevy right in front of Maddox. Is he insane? What in the world is he thinking? There's the 10 of Dan Maddox, who went around. Let's go back and see what exactly just went through Josh Garrison's head. Watch the hands here. He had spun out of the first corner. Now Dan Maddox naturally is coming. Watch his hands here. If he steers to the center of the track, right in front of Dan Maddox. You can see his hands were pointed left, almost as if deliberately to steer in front of Maddox. Let's have one more look from the back end. Here comes Maddox, just into frame. You can see the 44 turned left. Josh Garrison turning left to get right into Maddox, and he goes up that S's undisturbed. Meanwhile, Dan Maddox still in the 12th position with extreme damage to the front end of his number 10 Mountain Dew Chevrolet. And Josh Garrison remains in the 8th position. The stewards have got to do something about this. At the front with 25 laps to go, Brooklyn's Nick Pressey ahead of Jeremy Brio. David Hauk running in the 3rd position. These two separated by a bit. Brio goes wide, now running up the S's. Hauk is on the offensive. David Hauk chasing down Jeremy Brio. 1, 2, 3, Ford, Chevy, Ford with 24 laps to go. Brio snaking up the hill, down the back straight. He'll be looking to overtake Pressey this time by. Brio just can't get him into the bus stop. Hauk having to slam on those brakes now, but still applying pressure. Pressey, how are your nerves, Nick? Coming to 23 laps to go. Will it be a successful homecoming for the Brooklyn native? Al Simkowski now down pit road and away. Donald Ray gets around him and up the S's. Ray now into the top 5. Brio chasing down Pressey still, but he's got Hauk to worry about. Green flag pit stops now underway at Watkins Glen. 94, 74, 21 with 23 laps to go. Everybody's squeezing down tight into that first corner. Green Fire asking if it's all right, who's got the fastest lap? Let's put it up on the left-hand side as we watch the top 3 battle. Best lap of the afternoon goes to Jeremy Brio, who's riding in that 74. Brio sitting second right now with the fastest time of 1:12:41. Just 5/100ths quicker than David Hauk. Right behind him, you saw Brio had some daylight to the inside of Pressey. If Pressey's not careful, he can't open that much daylight. Brio hot on his heels, the points leader, looking to cement his title. He can't clinch today, but he can clinch next week if he plays his cards right. He's in a position to do so right now, but he wants that win. There's Josh Garrison on the inside. Once again, have a look at the 44 car and the move that he pulled off right in front of Daniel Maddox. You'll watch the 44 car turn to the left here just as Maddox is coming in frame behind us. Dan Maddox with extreme damage on the front of his car as well. Maddox struggling to get his race car going. Maddox finds himself in the 12th position now, several laps down, and with an extremely wounded race car. Meanwhile, Josh Garrison sits in the 8th position, 1 full lap ahead, and 4 positions ahead of Dan Maddox. Pressy, Brio, and Hauk now filing down into that final corner. 21 laps left in this race. Still plenty of show to go. These top 3, they're going to put up an incredible fight as the race goes on. One of the quickest battles out here thus far. Disappointment for fans of the number 24, Trey Kirk, who's now scored out of this race. Dan Maddox to the inside of the 99. Al Simkowski, this not for position. Again, Maddox potentially being wrecked out of any sort of top 10 contention by the 44 of Josh Garrison. The 99 of Simkowski in 6th. He finds himself 17 seconds behind the number 14 Ford of Donald Ray. There's Ray now entering turn number 1. "21 seconds ahead of Donald Ray. Dustin Painter running 4th in the number 49 MK Men Chevrolet. You can hear he's a bit off song. Is something wrong with the 49? Caution is out on the racetrack. Second yellow flag is out. You may have briefly heard race control bring out that yellow. Nick Pressy does beat Jeremy Brio to the moment of caution. 94, 74, 21, your top 3 as the yellow comes out. Let's go back and see what exactly brought out the flag. Tom Sears, John Honeybrink getting into it after the yellow. Is that what brought out the caution? Honeybrink in his custom number 20 Camry. He's got Sears behind him. Here they are coming up to turn 10 where they briefly collided. This is after the caution came out. Hard collision there. Big hard collision between the 20 and the 19. Let's have one more look from the cockpit of Honeybrink and see what happened. Out of 10 now. Just tried to save it and got collected up with the 19. So Nick Pressy now behind the pace car, coming to 19 laps to go. We still have about another 2 minutes, 50-some seconds until the pre-rolls come back on. So I think we will take another 60-second break just to go ad-free. Well, hopefully we go ad-free to the end. We'll see about that. Ad-free mostly to the end, at least. But Brooklyn's Nick Pressy will come down pit road for tires and for fuel. The New York native coming down. The 44 of Josh Garrison, the 28 of Cody Pennell, who was leading this race and has led the majority of the laps today. There's the 44 of Garrison leading the line right now, the 28 of Cody Pennell in the second spot. Honeybrink coming back around. So we are going to take a, let's say, a 30-second break. We'll take a 30-second break, and then we'll be back here to resume round 8 of Monday Night Lightning. Back at the front of this race, Jeremy Brio leads. Nick Pressey, the lights are still on atop the pace car. Let's have a word with the points leader and see how he fancies his chances now that he's at the front of this race. Jeremy Brio, Rick James up top. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, Rick.
Jeremy, you're leading this race after really squeezing the pressure onto Nick Pressey, who's done a brilliant job of holding you off up until now. You can't clinch the di9 Designs MNL Championship just yet, but you can set yourself up with a win. Do you have the car to go the distance and win tonight's race?
I think the old Mill Racing Design Chevy's pretty good. I just hope I don't blow another motor. It was a freak thing that happened in stage 1 that I have zero clue what happened, and if that doesn't happen, I think we can win this race.
Is that what happened there, that the motor blew here as we're coming to 1 to go?
Yeah, I don't know, for some reason, like going into the bus stop, it hit 235 on the oil temp and then just blew up. Like, I have zero clue what the hell happened.
Well, funny enough, at least you've got that fast repair, and now you're at the front, but no more fast repairs, my friend. You've got less than a lap to green, and the most important question anybody's going to ask you all night, Jeremy Brio, what is your favorite flavor of pie?
I gotta go apple pie. It's the American classic.
Now, do you go ice cream as well?
Yeah, whipped cream and ice cream together.
Whipped cream and ice cream. Look at you, fancy. Okay, I see you. So an apple pie for Jeremy Brio. Some folks have said pumpkin pie tonight. Someone said chicken pot pie in the chat earlier, too. Forgot about meat pies. Those are pretty great. But I could talk about pies for hours, Jeremy. We're going to let you get back to work, buddy. Best of luck.
All right, thanks, Rick.
Brio leading this race with a half a lap before the green. Leading the points as well. There you see, he's got that slight lead over Cody Pennell. I say slight lead, it's 55 points. Cody Pennell now sitting in the 8th position in his number 28 car. Behind the 44 of Josh Garrison, coming to this green flag, getting ready to go. Brio, Pressey, Hauk, your top 3. Illinois' Al Simkowski moves up to the 4th position. North Carolina's Dustin Painter sits in 5th. Ex-New York native, now a resident of the great state of Connecticut, Thomas Andrews sitting in the 6th position. Cody Pennell, Josh Garrison, Donald Ray, and John Honeybrink rounding out the top 10. Meanwhile, Dan Maddox still suffering from earlier contact in 11th. It'll be 17 laps to go when we come to the green flag. Brio out in front. The Porsche 911 pace car will peel off. Round 8 with another 17 laps left. Waiting for the signal. Will Brio get a jump? He does indeed. Racing again at the Glen. Painter running it through. Simkowski has nowhere to go but right into the back of Painter, but a decent save by the 99 Perrier Ford. There goes the MK Chevy on the outside of the carousel, losing mad spots, and Ryan Pennell getting into more trouble in the bus stop, down to the 12th position. Tom Sears in pit road. Trey Kirk being scored out of this race, but at the front, leading by almost 1 second with 16 to go, Jeremy Brio. I was going to say 17 to go at the Watkins Glen when we restarted, but it's just the Glen, isn't it? Pennell going off track again. Now he's got, is that Garrison behind him? That is Josh Garrison, who's extremely slow. And what has gone on with the 44? Donald Ray going well off track, right into the guardrail. Let's see what happened with Garrison. There's Pennell going off. What a hit for Ryan Pennell. Now this is Josh Garrison, who's had his fair share of contact this evening. Just gradually slowing down for no apparent reason. Back to live pictures. Ryan Pennell going around again. Now going through the bus stop, and he goes head first into the barrier. Donald Ray sitting in the 8th position there. Ryan Pennell bringing his number 12 into pit road with 15 laps remaining. Jeremy Brio leading by 1 second over David Houck, but he takes it extremely wide. Houck stays mistake-free, and I don't think I've seen the 21 make any mistakes this evening. That's what's kept him in the top 2. Nick Pressey, despite losing first and going down to 3rd, he's still up 10 spots from where he started this race. 2 seconds behind him, Georgia's Cody Pennell in the number 28 car, getting up close to Pressey for 3rd. Donald Ray getting around Thomas Andrews. This for the 7th position, but you've got to give it up to Thomas Andrews, sitting 8th right now in the Money Lion Mustang, as there goes the 10 one more time. What happened to Dan Maddox? And he was already around here. Looks like he went around of his own volition. Let's have a look. And he indeed did. Head first, goodness. Tire barrier applied directly to the forehead. And John Honeybrink just having an episode there. Maddox going off again. There's Honeybrink in the number 20 Home Depot Camry. Big trouble out of turn number 10. Brio leading, but only by half a second. Lucky number 13 laps to go next time by. Honeybrink going off again in turn 10, sitting 9th. Garrison jumped in the pits. He's in 10th right now. We'll see if he finishes this race. Brio 9/10 of a second ahead of Houck, who finds himself 2 seconds ahead of Nick Pressey. And Cody Pennell must have had another error, because Pennell has gained no time on Pressey, still 2 seconds adrift, and Al Simkowski now getting closer to the second place point sitter. At the front, Jeremy Brio still with a best time of 1:12.41. Lucky number 13 laps to go at Watkins Glen. Just over 30 miles left to complete. Nick Pressey in 3rd. 2.5 seconds back to Cody Pennell in 4th. 1.5 seconds to Al Simkowski. Let's ride around with Simkowski as he accelerates through the S's. Garrison back on the racetrack, as is Tom Sears in the 19, who's coming out of pit road. John Honeybrink coming around. He sits in the 9th spot. Dan Maddox is in 10th, but 1 lap off of his pace. Brio leading by a wider margin to Houck now, who sits in 2nd by almost 2 seconds. Thomas Andrews briefly going off track in the bus stop, now struggling to re-accelerate in 8th. Andrews, the last car on the lead lap in his number 2. Andrews off track one more time in the number 2 Money Lion Mustang. That looks like Garrison, and it is Garrison on the inside of turn number 10. Out of that second corner, though, the 2 gets moving once more. A dozen laps remain. Tom Sears having another incident there. The number 19 Camry goes around again, sitting 13th, and more trouble for Dan Maddox in the 10. Pressey sitting in third, but now 3 seconds off of second place. David Hauk, 2 seconds off the lead. John Honeybrink wrecks again, this time out of one. Here come the leaders. There's Tom Sears. There's Dan Maddox. There's Brio now following. Honeybrink is going to be slow up the hill. The leaders must be careful. Brio comfortably to the outside of Honeybrink with 10.5 laps to go. Hauk will not be so fortunate and will get caught up with Honeybrink in the bus stop, but he makes it through okay. Thomas Andrews briefly going off racetrack again. He's got the 44 of Josh Garrison up his backside. Simkowski rolling in fifth. He's 3.5 seconds behind Cody Pennell and catching back up after Simkowski briefly had an error. Mistake-free is where you want to be, and that's been David Hauk tonight, but Jeremy Brio starting to pull away with 10 laps to go. 25 miles is all that remains. Josh Garrison with a big incident coming together with the 2 car. What happened here? This is well before the incident. Now here we are. Oh, the 2 of Andrews just gets loose. Gets into the 44 of Garrison. Nothing you could do about that. And both of these cars with severe damage. Here comes Ryan Pennell in the 12. And he avoids it all. 2 1/3 seconds, the gap between Brio and Hauk. Meanwhile, Donald Ray, who's 1/10 of a second behind his good friend and strong rival, Dustin Painter. Out of the S's with 9.5 to go. Ray chasing down the North Carolinian. Ray's able to dive on in there, but will Painter hang on? Let's ride around with Ray as he gets closer to the 6th position. Pressey goes off track. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey sitting in third briefly goes off track. Back to Ray and Painter. Ray is there. He's within half a second. Into the first corner now with 8 laps to go. Next time by, Jeremy Brio now leading by 1.9 seconds over Hauk. Catching up to Sears. Donald Ray able to get around Dustin Painter. Let's have a look at the move. Just as I pull the camera away. That's like the 3rd time tonight. Oh, Painter ran it wide out of turn number 1, and that was all Ray needed. Green Fry says, alrighty, hope I didn't miss much. You didn't miss much at all. Donald Ray in the 6th position. 10 seconds behind Al Simkowski for 5th. Ryan Pennell able to get around the 44 of Garrison. Garrison now leaving pit road behind the 12 car. This the fight for 11th. Donald Ray smoking the tires ahead of Dustin Painter. 0.8 of a second is the gap. Coming to 8 laps to go for these drivers now. David Hauk has not given up the fight. Still within 2 seconds of Jeremy Brio, who's been driving the wheels off this thing. But will he have the tires to go that distance? Is that Garrison in the wall? It is Josh Garrison in the wall one more time. It's got to be the 4th or 5th time tonight. Thomas Andrews briefly going off track. And let's have a close-up shot here. There is no back end to this Ford Mustang. Interesting. Love it. There's the race leader, Jeremy Brio, looking to put Thomas Andrews a lap down and leave only 7 cars on the lead lap. John Honeybrink going off track again. Donald Ray with incident. Here comes Painter to his outside. Was there an incident between Ray and Honeybrink? Let's have a look. Oh, there it is. Donald Ray trying to avoid the 20 of John Honeybrink. And let's ride around with Honeybrink here because he just did a big pirouette into the bus stop. Hang on. Imagine that ride if you're in VR. There's Donald Ray in the 6th position now. Dustin Painter 2.5 seconds ahead in 5th. These two friends going to go to battle once again, but no, they won't. Donald Ray bins his number 14 Mustang out of the first corner. It's still mobile. Here comes Honeybrink, who's not on the same lap. Ray, unlike Garrison, will leave room for the next driver to get around him, but Ray back up to speed. Honeybrink won't take the overtake. Here comes Cody Pennell, who's going to overtake Donald Ray for 6th. Pennell easily getting around Honeybrink. Sears overtaking Josh Garrison, who jumps down pit road with more damage once again. Thomas Andrews going off track. This looks like it is the exit of turn number 10. Andrews sitting in 8th. 1 lap down. The only car on track 1 lap down, so not much to lose for him. Garrison jumping to the pits and getting repairs. Jeremy Brio, with 5.5 laps to go, now stretches his lead to 2.5 seconds over David Houck. 5 seconds back is Nick Pressey with the bronze medal for now. Cody Pennell getting around Donald Ray. There's Ray, who comes down pit road to repair that damage. That'll put Pennell into 6th. He's closing down Dustin Painter at an alarming rate, despite there being 18 seconds of gap between them. Take a look at this. There you see Cody Pennell, 24 seconds quicker than Painter, because obviously Painter had an off there. But look at just how much faster Cody has been over the last 2 laps. There's Dustin Painter right there, and that's all you need to know. Something was wrong with the 49, and it still is. Dustin Painter back down to 6th. Cody Pennell, 3rd in points, climbs back into the top 5. Al Simkowski, 10 seconds behind the top 3 now. Nick Pressey sitting in 3rd. 4.5 laps to go for the Brooklyn, New York native to get his podium. There's Simkowski behind him. Let's see the difference in times between Simkowski and Pressey. And for 4 out of the last 5 laps, Pressey has been quicker than Simkowski. So all Nick Pressey needs to do is keep being consistent with the times, and he'll hang on to 3rd. Houck, however, now 3 seconds behind Jeremy Brio, the points leader. Blew an engine, used a fast repair, and with 4 laps to go, still in contention to get his 4th win in 8 starts this season. Brio briefly tagging the wall. Jeremy, he's got to be careful. Be careful, Jeremy. Houck with a better exit out of the S's, closing the gap to within 3 seconds. There's the gap there, 3 out of the last 5 laps. The last 3 laps specifically, Jeremy Brio, 6 tenths, 3 100ths, and then 4 tenths quicker than David Houck. Houck getting a bit inconsistent. Donald Ray briefly leaving the racing surface in the bus stop. He now sits in 7th, 30 seconds behind the top 6, and Honeybrink wrecks his Camry again, this time out of the final corner. There's Brio now leaving the final corner, chasing down Honeybrink, looking to put him a 3rd lap down. 3 laps to go now for Brio. Five seconds and shrinking is that interval. Was that Andrews that just blew through the inner loop there? Let's see what happened to Thomas Andrews. Possibly missed a braking point. Let's have a look. No, not really. Tommy just goes ahead and blows through the bus stop. He knows what penalties he's facing there. So he'll get a time penalty for that one, but it really makes no difference for Andrews as he is 43 seconds behind Donald Ray, the only other car 1 lap down. Coming to the final 5 miles of the race, Jeremy Brio 2 3/4 seconds ahead of David Houck. Houck, who's only 2 seconds ahead of Nick Pressey. Does Pressey smell blood in the water? Is there a silver medal waiting at the end of this Watkins Glen road trip for Brooklyn's Nick Pressey? He's got 5 miles to get it from Houck, and he's got 2 seconds between him and second. Al Simkowski super loose out of the final corner. Now 2 laps to go for him. Will he stay mistake-free? Will Cody Pennell finish in 5th? 2.8 seconds. The gap between first and second. Not much that Houck can do now. He's got to hope that he gets a mistake from Brio. The only mistake, if you can even call it that, was Brio's engine going up in smoke early in this race. Houck has run an otherwise flawless race, but for a 4-wheel skid out of turn number 10, Jeremy Brio, he'll see the white flag this time by 2.5 more miles wait until Jeremy Brio gets his 4th win of the season. Tristan saying, look at COT Tommy's cutaway car. He's talking about Thomas Andrews. Says you can see the fuel cell. Let's have a look. And you absolutely can. Look at that. Brio now ascending up the hill for the final time. Leading in the number 74, Smeal Racing Designs Chevy. Looking for his 4th win of the season. And now Nick Pressey chasing down Houck for second. This is the fight for the silver medal. Pressey sends it in really deep, taking advantage of those curves. If he relaxes and holds it tight, he'll get 1 more good shot into 10. Pressey with a 4-wheel drift out of the carousel. Having to feather the throttle, he's going to have to send it in deep if he has any chance of second. Brio coming out of the final corners. Pressey gets 1 more shot at it. Won't be enough for Nick Pressey. Jeremy Brio out of... Oh, there's Pressey. He turns around Houck. The 2 get together. Jeremy Brio wins at the Glen. Houck will advance off the final corner ahead of Nick Pressey. David Houck gets the 2nd place finish. Nick Pressey will finish in 3rd. Donald Ray coming home in 7th. And how about that for drama at the end? Jeremy Brio getting the W, his 4th win of the season. Let's have one more look at that awesome battle for second. Going into the final corner here, I thought it was over. Nick Pressey wanted 1 more shot at Houck. Houck knew he was coming. Pressey made the move he was going to make, but one more look. You can see Nick Pressey gave Houck all the room. He knew he was in the wrong. Pressey does not advance his position, waits for Houck to finish in second. Hats off to Nick Pressey for giving a good fight and for doing the right thing at the end. But it's Jeremy Brio getting the W, getting the win at Watkins Glen. Win number 4 this season. Folks at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a brief break while we get these cars sorted, and hopefully they don't wreck each other at the end. We'll be back with our podium interviews in just a moment. Now on the podium with our top 3, starting with Brooklyn, New York's Nick Pressey. Nick, kind of a homecoming for you today. You almost got David Houck at the end, but you still brought it home for a 3rd place finish.
In that last corner, I was really, I was pushing the envelope for the last 5 or 6 laps. When I went into 11 for the last time, the car locked up, and that made things kind of awkward. But it's a homecoming. I'm very glad we took the podium. Not the win we were looking for, but there's always Indy. It's wonderful to race at home, and it's wonderful to race with these guys.
Congratulations on that 3rd place finish. Now to our silver medalist, David Houck. Davey, you put in some impressive laps today. Brilliant lap times. So close to getting that win, but the practice paid off.
Yeah, I put in a bunch of laps this week and today. I had a consistency going, and then late in that run, started to get real loose. I burned them up. Just a little patient there. Too patient in the beginning of the run. Good run, good points today. Jeremy was flawless. Made too many mistakes there in that last stage, but thanks to Nick for giving that 2nd place back. I was a little scary there at the end.
I couldn't take it from you after.
Well, you managed to bring it home for 2nd. Regardless, congratulations on that, and we'll see you in a week's time at the Indianapolis Road Course. Before we get to our race winner, this winning interview brought to you by di9 Designs, the Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at di9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week, on top of taking requests on all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing paint schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Be sure to use code DI9Designs for free shipping on all orders over $20 at CircleBSales.com. And now the winner. Driver of the number 74 Smil Racing Designs Chevrolet with his 4th win this season, Jeremy Brio. One more and you will clinch this Monday Night Lightning Championship.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. After that first stage incident where the motor blew, I didn't think I was gonna have any chance of winning this race, especially with how chaotic these road courses are with these next gen cars. But thankfully, we made it through without much incident after that. So, yeah.
Going next week into Indianapolis, the points look like this. You with 4 wins, sitting with 332 points. Cody Pennell sitting, I believe the math is, I have no idea. He's got 269 points. So it looks like he's almost 70 points behind you coming to the final 2 races of the season. One more good finish and it's all yours, my friend. Are you going to get your 5th win next week at Indy?
Yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't count on it, but if the previous road courses have been anything, I think I'll be at least in the top 3. Davey and Cody are pretty good too. So if I can outrun them, yeah, I think we got this championship locked up. But if they bring all their game like they have the past couple of road courses, I think we're gonna have a good show going into next week.
It's going to be a great show going into next week. For now, go celebrate your 4th win of the season. Congratulations, Jeremy.
Thanks, Rick.
That's going to be it for us tonight. Monday Night Lightning comes to a close, but there's still 2 more races this year. Next week, Monday night, here on this channel, we will travel to the virtual Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course, and 1 more week after that, the season finale at Michigan International Speedway. Tomorrow night, 8:10 p.m. It's the OG, actually no, it's not the OG Modified Cup Series. That's next week. We'll have the BLR Truck Series coming up on Thursday, ENEA on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. Give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Fans at home, thank you so much for your subscription, for your viewership. We need and appreciate everything that you do for us. Until the next race, everybody stay safe, take care of each other.